Barcelona have just done the impossible. Yes, they've beaten Celta Vigo at the Balaídos for only the third time in the last 10 visits. It was a 6-goal thriller that saw Lewandowski register his first hat-trick of the season. But this game was more than just goals. Barcelona might finally be returning to their brilliant best. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down all of the key moments and tactics from this game that could transform Hansi Flick's season. Guys, if you're a Barcelona fan, you would have known the frustration of the high line all too well, especially in recent weeks. We've looked lethargic and vulnerable with every attack, and everyone has blamed Hansi Flick for his refusal to change tactics. Well, tonight, guys, this game showed one thing. It's not the high line, not at all. It's not the system. It's something far more crucial, something that we've spoken about on this channel, something I like to refer to as the step up. When a player steps up to regain possession, triggering the press, forcing the opponent to surrender possession and stopping the counter-attack in the process. This is something we've struggled with for the better part of this season. Well, tonight, Barcelona looked a different team, completely rejuvenated side. I couldn't count the number of times we did this perfectly all through the game. And it was exactly this that led to the first goal. But to demonstrate this, I'm going to use these 4 players. Now, just before the goal, I want you to look at something that happened 3 minutes earlier. It's Frenkie de Jong right at the edge of the box, gets an opportunity to shoot. What does he do? He hesitates and decides to play the pass out wide. Now, just 3 minutes later, look at the difference when Fermin gets a similar chance. Remember what we said about the balance in midfield. One player gives you control, the other chaos, and the third penetration. That's exactly what happens here, because look at this from Fermin. As soon as he spots the loose ball, he doesn't give Celta any space or time on the ball. He triggers the press, wins it back, and immediately lets off a shot. Now, even though he doesn't score, he creates enough danger that Alonso ends up getting caught on the handball. VAR calls it back, the referee reviews, awards a penalty, and Lewandowski converts for 1-0. But again, it starts with the push-up right here, immediately pulling the trigger that gives Barcelona the advantage. Now, it didn't stop there, because 4 minutes later, it was 3 of these 4 combining again to great effect. Look at this sequence from deep in our half, from Fermin to García. Now, look at the hold-up play from Lewandowski. This is what he gives you in attack. He lays it back for Fermin, who turns beautifully and finds Rashford from a brilliant ball over the top. Celta haven't had time to recover. It's quick and precise football. Now, unfortunately, Rashford doesn't convert this chance, to my greatest surprise. And so, against the run of play, Celta go on to score at the other end. Now, we will get to the Celta goal in a second, but again, 24th minute is these 4 putting on the pressure to great effect right from the front. Look at Lamine and Yamal. He's so fired up, putting on the pressure, so he forces Alonso into a poor pass that he intercepts, and as soon as that happens, the press is triggered. And I thought it was a brilliant block from Alex Moriba to deny Fermin, and then the post denies Rashford on the rebound. But guys, it didn't stop there, because in the 37th minute, these 2 combined to put Barcelona ahead. Now, guys, this might be the beginning of a new partnership at Barcelona, because I want you to look at something just before the goal. Look at what Lewandowski gives you. It's the sequence before the goal. Balde gets the first opportunity to find Lewandowski with the cross. Lewandowski is actually calling for it because he knows what he's capable of. Balde hesitates and doesn't play the ball in, and you can see Lewandowski visibly showing his frustration. Now, Rashford recognises this on the second chance. Look at Lewandowski again making the signal. Rashford sees this, floats the ball in immediately, and Lewandowski does what he does best. He puts the ball in the back of the net. Now, I've always said this, if you've got Lewandowski on the field, why are you hesitating to put the ball in the box? This is what he feeds off of. If you feed Lewandowski, the man will eat. And this is where I think Rashford can play a really crucial role this season, because it's his ability to be direct that benefits a player like Lewandowski. Because look at the 4th goal. Again, it was Rashford finding Lewandowski from the corner kick, who does ever so well to direct that ball off the post and into the back of the net. Goalkeeper's got no chance at all. But guys, we need to do this more often. Just put the ball in the box. As long as we've got players like Lewandowski, Fermin, and even Lamine Yamal ready to attack it, we will cause teams a lot of problems. And to prove this even further, it's all 4 of them again combining for the 3rd goal. Look at Rashford out on the left. As soon as the ball gets to him, who's making the run into the box to join Lewandowski? It's Fermin Lopez. This is tactical, guys. They understand what's about to come. And it's the run from Fermin and Lewandowski that drags the defenders away from the cutback. And even though Alex Moriba managed to get the ball away from Dani Olmo, it falls kindly to Lamine Yamal, who does brilliantly to play that first time with his weaker foot. The goalkeeper makes a mess of it and Barcelona get a third. Brilliant football from the attack today, guys, but it was down to the pressure and directness from these 4 players in front that proved too much for Celta on the night. And this is what we say about the highline. As long as the players are committed to putting on the press from the front and keeping the play compact, it works. It's a brilliant system, but it needs the right execution at all times. And speaking of execution, I want us to look at Celta's first goal on the night because overall, I think that the defense did brilliantly except for on a few instances. Now, on this occasion, I actually don't blame the defense too much because it comes off the back of this miss from Rashford. And we've seen this time and time again in football. Once a player misses a glaring chance, it's just hard to regain your shape to stop the counter. And that's what happens here. Now, I think the players do push up well, but we're just beaten by a brilliant 1-2 between Borja Iglesias and Carrera. Again, it's the run from deep that catches the defense off guard and Celta are through on goal. Now, I think Szczesny should have done better on this goal, and it's not the first time this season that he's been beaten far too easily for my liking. I just think that he sometimes gets away with these sorts of performances because there's some sort of awareness within the Barcelona camp and fan base as well that he's not the first choice goalkeeper, that he's just the goalkeeper that was called out of retirement to help the club out in a really difficult situation. So he sort of gets a pass a lot of times because I guarantee you if it had been John Garcia, I think everyone would have been expecting him to make a save. And again, it's the same poor goalkeeping in my opinion for the second Celta goal. I don't think Borja Iglesias should be beating Szczesny with this sort of strike from this distance. Now that we've discussed the highline from the perspective of the attack, how about we examine it from a defensive point of view? To do this, I want us to focus on these 4 players. Guys, despite the 2 goals we conceded, I thought the defensive performance from these guys was impressive on the night. I saw massive improvements from what we've seen in recent times. The timing of the push-ups from the backline. I mean, we caught Celta offside 5 times in this game. And that's the thing, contrary to what people might think, the highline isn't just about catching offside, it's also about stopping any creativity from the opponent when they have the ball. Cubarsí and García were absolutely brilliant in defense. Look at this. And this. And then this. It's the awareness to read the play and step up at the right times. And I thought that Cubarsí in particular was brilliant on the night. Also, speaking about the defense, this is what you get from Balde. We've seen it time and time again. It's his ability to break the press with those driving runs forward. The speed, the close control, the awareness to then pick out a pass in the end is something that is truly priceless for Barcelona. And even though Garcia doesn't give you this, I actually think he's a more solid option out on the right than Koundé at this moment. Granted, he might not make any flashy runs or do anything eye-catching, but he understands basic Barcelona philosophy. He is such an intelligent player. He understands his weaknesses and plays to his strengths. And is also highly committed to the club. I mean, look at the way he screams after this tackle in the 95th minute. That tells you all you need to know about this man right here. And even when Gerard Martin comes on for Balde, he slots in nicely, anticipating the through balls. Celta just couldn't find a way through. Guys, I think if we continue defending like this, we are definitely back on the right track and well on our way to regaining our form from last season. Now, guys, there was a final piece to the puzzle that we haven't mentioned, and that is this man right here. Guys, I think that in the midst of our relentless attacking pressure and defensive awareness on the night, the control we enjoyed for long stretches of this game was down to Frenkie de Jong. He was brilliant on the night. It felt as though I was watching Pedri and Gavi rolled into one. The work rate, the defensive cover he continuously provided. In fact, this is why I've saved this goal for now, because I want to point out something really important. So look at the point when we lose this ball. Frenkie de Jong is actually the player that is closest to our goal despite not being one of the centre-backs. This meant that if Jude Glaw had played the usual cross into the box as we've seen most teams do, Frenkie de Jong would have been on hand to intercept this, which I thought was absolutely brilliant in terms of work rate and defensive awareness. Massive improvement for what we saw against Club Brugge in the Champions League. But Jude Glaw was actually very clever in this sequence because he recognises that Frenkie de Jong had covered the passing lane to Duran, so he opts for a cutback to Borja Iglesias, who is just on the edge of the box. Now, this is where I think Dani Olmo is the culprit for this goal, because remember, Dani Olmo was brought on to play in place of Casado in defensive midfield. This was his role on the night. Now, I did call him some slack because that's not his natural position. Dani Olmo is anything but great at defending, so we kind of should have expected something like this to happen. He doesn't cover the gap. The pass finds Boha easily and he finishes off. It was actually brilliant technique to get the shot off and on target. But I just wanted to highlight how amazing Frenkie de Jong was on the night, which pained me so badly to see him sent off for this. Guys, I don't know about you, but this has to be the softest yellow card I've seen in a long time. I mean, this has to be a joke. Absolutely ridiculous from referee Javier Rojas. I actually thought the referee had it in for Frenkie de Jong in this game. Because look at this from Borja Iglesias on Frenkie de Jong just minutes before he's sending off. It's a clear chance for a counter-attack right in front of the referee. He doesn't even get a booking. And then you go ahead and send Frenkie de Jong off for this. Guys, I'm still in shock. And it's so annoying because not only did it ruin a great performance from Frenkie on the night, it also rules him out from our next game, which is against Athletic Bilbao, meaning we will have to play that game without Frenkie de Jong or Pedri. It's a real spanner in the works, guys. I'm not going to lie. Anyways, for now, we can definitely celebrate the fact that we've cut Madrid's lead at the top to 3 points. And we will have some players back in the squad after the international break. And hopefully we can build on this momentum for the rest of the season. Now, do let me know what you thought of the game in the comments. I will be back here bringing you more analysis ahead of the Chelsea game in the Champions League. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel because I've got some more videos coming your way. Until next time, guys, see you soon and Visca el Barça.